Well, the year-end report released yesterday by the province's auditor-general highlighted several possible issues with how new and old drivers are tested in Ontario. It cited concerns about testing requirements, but also some of the training for new drivers ahead of their tests. Young Drivers of Canada is the largest instruction organization in the country, and it operates all across Ontario. Right now, we're joined by COO Maria Bagdonas with her thoughts on some of these concerns. So, Maria, good afternoon. Thank you very much for taking time to speak with us today.
You are more than welcome, Bakari. It was quite an interesting report, wasn't it?
Yeah, going over everything, okay, I can see, 3-point turns, parallel parking. Maybe there's a good argument for reducing those because a lot of people, get valet nowadays or whatever. But emergency stops, we got to talk about that.
Well, what they're talking about is a roadside stop where imagine, a dashboard light came on in your car and it was a red light. So that's something that you shouldn't be driving while that light is on. So the idea is to get your vehicle off of the driving part of the road and onto a safe part of the road as quickly as possible. Secure the car and make sure that, you are visible to traffic that is approaching from both directions if necessary. And, something as simple as remembering to put your hazard lights on or to secure your emergency brake or to stay inside the vehicle with your seatbelt on. Unless you're actually trained and tested on it, will you know what to do when you need to do it?
Yeah, along those lines, we've covered a number of stories where people, they stop in active lanes of traffic and they get out, because of this issue and they die.
Unfortunately, when you take a human body versus a vehicle that's traveling any more than, basically a parking lot speed, injuries and fatalities are usually the result. Listen, there was lots of information in that report that was absolutely mind-boggling. I have to tell you, for me, it was the 11 of 14 schools that allowed students to shorten or even abandon their training, but still gave them a certificate. And then you go into the whole idea of removing what they talked about as redundant or low-risk maneuvers. And I'm using words that are quoted directly in the AG report. And, I get it. COVID was hard. COVID was hard on the industry. It was hard on everybody. And, the reason for doing what they did was in their mind, a good decision. And for short term, it worked. I mean, it was better than what they did in some jurisdictions in the USA where they just stopped doing road tests at all. They just said, oh, you're done, you're training, okay, here you go, here's your license, So it was better than that. But, we have an issue now in Ontario where we don't have reciprocal agreements with all jurisdictions around the world. And if you come from a place where that is the case, where we don't have that agreement, you could actually skip over the test that includes, while they may be, discussed as redundant or low risk, they're still really important. I mean, they're included on the city test, and that's in the AG report, because of the value that they have to the examiner in terms of spatial awareness, and do you understand how to make your car do a parallel park or the motions of a parallel park while being cognizant of the vehicle in front, the vehicle behind, and the curb. So, it's, I get it. I get why they did it. But, the whole report was about relating increased crash rates and fatalities to current testing and training effectiveness. And, I don't know if that should continue.
What about driving in proximity to pedestrians? Now, look, I've been driving. I'm 43 years old. I've been driving since I was 13. I'm from Alabama. Don't ask. This is still an issue for me. It's so important, especially around the streets of Toronto.
Well, and I mean, I'm new to the GTA area. I come from a rural or, a very suburban area in Ontario. And I have to tell you that the volume of pedestrians is, mind-boggling as you head, downtown to, location around where your studios are, and being aware of where the pedestrians are and what they're doing or what they're not doing, right? There's been so many pedestrian automobile incidents, even just in the last 24 hours, the number of incidents that have been reported. What's going on and why is it happening? Are we dealing with things that are outside of the testing and training realm?
Young Drivers of Canada COO Maria Bagdonas, thank you very much for your time and your thoughts. We really appreciate it.